So working with map labels and trying to create your own label templates inside of GeoLayers can be very, very difficult. So today I want to drop 8 of my favorite tips that will help get you up and running quickly if you want to create your own library of label templates. So you can find all the label templates over here in this drop-down menu in the GeoLayers 3 panel. There's a handful of default ones that are already installed. But if you want to create your own, you come down here to this little button called Add Template. When you click on this, it creates a new composition with a text layer and a null layer called Label Anchor Point. Now, the way that these label templates work is there are compositions inside of this subfolder called label templates. You'll see right here, we have this new composition, and up here are all the existing defaults. So I'm gonna go ahead and rename this. We'll call it City Label 01. Now, you don't have to use this add template method to create a new template. You can simply just manually create a new composition, drag it and drop it in the label templates folder, and then it will automatically populate as a label template. However, I highly suggest you use the add template method because this label anchor point null layer that GeoLayers creates is very, very important. It controls everything about how the label is going to interact with the map. So for example, as the name implies, this is where your label anchor point is going to be placed. You can see the anchor point right here. So when it draws out the label, the anchor point of that label comp is going to be right here at the center. So if I want to change that, if I want to move it over here, I can move it over here, and now that will be used as the label anchor point. So I don't want to do that. I'll just move it back to the center. If you don't have a label anchor point layer, GeoLayers will use the center of the composition by default. But that's not the most important part. The most important part is the fact that if you grab this layer and you go to Effect Controls, you'll notice all of these parameters. So these are basically all of the controls of how your map is going to interact with the map. Is it going to scale with the map? Is it going to rotate with the map? Is it going to be in 3D? Is it going to rotate along a path if you animate it along a path? Now, before we draw this out, actually, I'm going to go grab the ellipse tool, and I'm going to hold Shift and just create a little ellipse here. We'll bring this size down to like 20, just so I have like a little marker. We'll do 15. And I'm going to drag this underneath, and I can call this map marker. And then for our text layer, we want to add a little stroke, like 1.5 width, black stroke, and make sure that the fill is over the stroke. And same thing for this shape right here. So this is what I've got right now. If I toggle transparency, I've got this right here. And I can move the text off of the marker just a little bit. Okay, so now I've created this little template. Let's draw it out. I'll go back to my map, and I'll go to the GeoLayers panel. I have Madrid right here, and I need to grab the drop-down menu, make sure that I have this city label selected, and then click on this little button right here called Label Features. And there we go. Now we've got the community of Madrid. Whoops, I don't know what this community of Madrid is. But now if I zoom in, you'll see that the label is not zooming or scaling with the map. It's staying the same size. If I change the pitch and bearing, it's not moving in 3D space. However, if I go over to the Effect Controls panel, I have Scale with Map, Rotate with Map, Rotate along paths. So if I start to toggle these, and I actually have to turn on 3D. So I had to manually do that. I have to manually check and switch this to 3D. Then I have to manually click Scale with Map. I have to manually click Rotate with Map. And if I have to do this with all of my labels, let's say I have 50 labels, it's going to be madness. Like, why would you ever want to do that? That's why you come back to your label template here, and you just go to the label anchor point, and then by default, if you want it to be 3D, if you want it to scale with the map, you want it to rotate with the map, by default, just toggle these on for the template. And make sure that your label anchor point is set to 3D. And then you can choose if your map marker is in 3D or not. So I'm going to set my map marker to 3D because I want my map marker to be in 3D, but I want my text layer to actually stay 2D, like kind of focused on the viewer. And I also want collapse transformations to always be applied to my labels. So to do that, just make sure that the label anchor point has collapse transformations applied. Now when I come back here, I'm going to toggle this one off. If I come back and just, label this again, let's go to here. I don't know why this is saying Community of Madrid. Let's just change it to Madrid. If I add the label again, now you can see, check that out. We have a really dynamic label here. So if I change this, you can see that marker is now flat, but if I start to change the pitch and the bearing again, you'll notice the marker is moving in 3D space, the text is not. Our label automatically has collapsed transformations and is set to 3D. Super duper cool. So now I can grab this one, and what's cool about collapsed transformations is I can scale this, infinitely, and it's going to stay super duper sharp. All right, now I'm able to draw this label out, but there's no real animation. So I want it to animate in and animate out. This is tip number 3. So I'm going to come back to my label template, and I'm just going to add some quick animation. So like we'll do a scale on our map marker here. So we can just do 0 to 100 scale, maybe add some easy ease here. And then I'm going to go to the Effects and Presets panel, and let's close this out. Go to Animation Presets, Presets, and then go down to Text, and we can do Animate In, and we have Fade Up Characters. So I'm going to drag that up here and see what that does. Okay, now we've got some keyframes here. Let's just toggle this back. Okay, now I've got a really simple animation here. I'm going to grab all these keyframes and I'm going to copy them, and then I'm going to come to the end here, and as I paste, I'm going to hold Shift, and that will flip those keyframes around, like reverse them. So now if I drag these over here and play this back, you'll notice that they're animating out. So now I have an animation in and I have an animation out. If I come back here and I grab this label, I can actually swap this out now. So let's swap it out with our changes. And now if I bring my playhead to the beginning, it should go away. And now if I play this back, we have our animation in. And if we go to the end, it will have our animation out. Okay, the label is looking better. We have, the customization options here. It's animating in, it's animating out. However, I want to be able to easily trim it and have those animations stick to my label, like the in and out points here. To do that, I use something called responsive design for time. So what you do is you come back to your template here. You can see the keyframes. And if you go up to composition, you can select responsive design time. And right here, you can create an intro and an outro. And what this does, it will add a marker with these durations here, and just make sure those are covering your keyframes. So there's my intro. I'll go add my outro. What that's going to do is it will just basically lock in that time. So we've got the outro covered here. Now what it's going to do is when I pre-comp this, or when the label is drawn out, those keyframes will not be affected by any speed changes. And as I draw it out, I can now change the speed of it. So I don't think I can swap this with the new responsive design for time. So if I now just draw this label out again, now you can see in this comp, we have these little blue areas at the tail and the head of this. And if I click and drag, I can change the time of this, and those keyframes at the end are going to stick to that out point. So now I can really easily and dynamically change the location of the animate out, and it's going to animate out. So this is pretty necessary if you're working with a lot of labels. You really got to use this. If not, you're going to have to either manually animate the composition or try to jump into your pre-comp and move those keyframes. It's really stupid. I wouldn't work that way. So there we go. If I only want this to run for 3 to 4 seconds, I just trim it like that, and now it animates on and it'll animate off. This essentially allows you to dynamically retime your labels very, very quickly. Now you saw that I can swap out the labels. So why would you want to do that? Well, if you're drawing out a lot of labels, you don't want all of your labels, your text, to be aligned in the same location. It's going to be very, very weird looking. So what you can do in this instance is create different versions of your label in different locations. And if you look at the default templates, that's what's going on here. Number 1, place top, place bottom, place left. So if I just rename my label template, I can say place right. So this is right of our actual map marker, city label place right. So I'm going to grab this and then duplicate it, and we'll call this one place left. And if I jump into this label template, I can grab my text and I'll go to properties, and I want to set the paragraph alignment to right align. And now I'll just bring this over here. So now I've got this right here. So if I come over to this label again and go back to the GeoLayers panel, switch to my new place left, watch what happens when I swap this out. So let me zoom in on the map comp here. So we've got this on the right. Now if I swap it out with left, it's just a very quick way to change the position of this. And you can naturally create the templates for every specific location, like bottom, top, top right, top left. If you're working with a lot of labels, this is pretty necessary too. Now, if you're working with different color base maps, I like to create some kind of workflow where you can quickly swap between light and dark mode. And essentially what that is doing is, right now I have white text with a black stroke. I just like to flip it to black text on with a white stroke. So for example, if I go over to my map composition here, let's say you're like working with a lot of different colors in your base map, or like a lot of different contrast or brightness levels. If I just switch this to like a light mode, now my label looks pretty terrible on this. Like this white on white just doesn't look great. So what you can do is you can actually throw an invert clip on here. So there we go. We can just throw invert, and then you can use that to switch between. So you can do that, or you can throw it in your template here. You could add a new adjustment layer, however you want to rig this, and you can add an invert, and then I can even add this, you could connect this to a drop-down menu, and now I could even connect the visibility of, or the opacity of this adjustment layer to a slider or a checkbox to just checkbox whether I want light mode or dark mode. This technique is used in professional web maps, like I worked for Felt Maps and I worked with their cartographer, and if you use Felt and you just go switch between dark and light mode base maps and look at the labels, you'll notice that's what they're doing. They're flipping the stroke with the fill of those labels to just make them have enough contrast and make them look nice on the base map. So good contrast. Last but not least, I want to show you one other thing that is incredibly, insanely powerful, and that is essential properties or essential graphics. So if you go to the window drop-down menu and choose essential graphics, this is the essential graphics panel. If you're unaware with this workflow, it's just an all-around insanely powerful After Effects workflow. What it allows you to do, it allows you to tell After Effects in a specific composition, these parameters are my essential parameters that I want to be able to change dynamically. Once you set up your essential properties and you pre-comp and then duplicate the pre-comp, you can iterate that property and then change it, and it won't change all of your duplicate comps, which is insanely powerful and perfect for a label workflow. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So right now I'm using this label swap option to like swap the position of these labels. But if I were to go to, let's go back and just grab the city label place right, and I go to essential graphics, I just need to select a primary composition here. So we're gonna go to city label place right. What I can do is I can go over to the text layer, hit P for position, and now I'm going to grab the position parameter and drop it over here. And now check it out, we've got this property right here. I'm going to call it text position. And I can grab, other things, like if I go into the contents here of the ellipse, the group transformations, I can grab the scale. And so now with my essential properties, I have the scale of the map marker, and then I have the position of the text. So if I go back and we draw this out, let me just turn off the visibility of this one. Let me flip our map back. And actually, let me change the base map back to dark mode. I'm going to go back and grab that city label place right. And now if we draw this out, we have everything that we've changed here. We have our responsive design. You know what? Let me turn off the visibility of all these because it's a little distracting. So I have the animation, I have my responsive design. However, now I click this right here, the drop down. I now have this group called essential properties. If I open this up, you'll see I have text position and ellipse scale like I added. So now if I zoom in, well, first let me just scale up this overall so we can see what the heck's going on. If we play with these essential properties, this is like another downstream layer of effect changes. So I could change the alignment of this. We can make it like left and below. And just like that, I've changed the position of these. And if I scale this overall, or if I do anything, it's always going to stick with that. And it's going to be the same kind of look. If I change this right here, you'll see the text still is facing us. It's still in a good position if I change the bearing and move it around. So what this allows me to do is now I have two layers of control. So I can change the position here. So this kind of makes it to where I don't have to create multiple label templates that are like place right, place left, place top, place bottom. I can simply add this position parameter in Essential Properties, and that will allow me to jump down here and then just change the position there. It really comes down to like, what workflow do you prefer? Do you want to jump down here into your text position and change it? Or do you want to use these up here and just quickly swap them? This is a very fast workflow because I could grab like 10 labels all at the same time and swap them, and it's really, really fast. So this is just another layer of control. And also when you swap, if you're using swap, these essential properties will not be affected by the swap. So that's another layer of control that opens up a ton of different options. And I also have the marker, like size of the marker right here. And you'll notice these two little icons here. So if you create multiple comps of this pre-comp, you can change these parameters, and it's only going to change these properties for this specific label or pre-comp. So if you ever want to snap back or revert to the original, you can pull all these parameters from the primary comp and it'll reset it. So if I pull from primary comp, it'll reset it. Or if I want to save it to all the comps, I can push it, and then you'll have that control with every specific label that is using Essential Graphics. So I don't know if I'm explaining this very well, but the level of control is just insane. The customization options are vast. And that is kind of my last tip, is that I suggest you figure out the look that you want, write down all the specifications, the font size, the case, the position, whether you want a map marker or not, whether you want it to scale with the map, rotate with the map. Have everything set so that when you come in to design it and rig it, you're not faced with a bunch of options and choices that you haven't already made, and then you'll find yourself in this crazy rabbit hole of like testing the look of different things. So I suggest know what you want, go in there, create the rig, and then you'll quickly see if that's not what you want, if you need to change the size, if you don't want it to scale with the map. And then you can do this for all the different types of labels. You can do it for city labels, you can do it for country labels, you can do all the different designs and have your label templates. Oh yeah, I do have one more tip. So as I said, you know, when you create new label templates, you simply drag them and drop them into here. Well, you do have another button called Import Templates. So what you can do is you can create an After Effects project that just has your templates. And when you click on this, when you click on Import Templates and you go and grab that After Effects project, it is going to look at that After Effects project, and it's only going to import the compositions that are at the base in no subfolders. So I would essentially create an After Effects project and drag all of my label templates in the root here so they're not in a subfolder. That way when you import that, it's just going to drag them all in. It's not going to import your entire project. It will just automatically drag those all in. So what I like to do is have project label template projects for specific looks, so that when I'm jumping into a new project, I can look at my template files and it's like, oh, here are the labels for this. Boom, import them. They're all there, and I'm ready to rock and roll. Okay, labels. Is this tutorial 40 minutes? I hope not. By the way, on my Patreon, I've also been talking about labels. My latest exclusive tutorial for my Tier 2 patrons, I did a whole long video about source directed time, where you can control the anchor point and essentially do some wild stuff with label templates, because I'm on a mission to create the greatest map label template in the world. I've been experimenting with different rigs and just having a lot of fun trying to figure out like what is the most efficient and best way to use these. So stay tuned if you like map labels and label templates. Yeah, I've got some cool stuff coming for that. Yeah. All right, hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments. See ya.